So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to take a moment for us to work together to start the semester off right by choosing the best Science Daily article that fits both the course and your personal interests. Before we get started, I just want to say that I am home with both of my children, so if you hear a small child in the background, please be patient with me. So let's get started. Science Daily is the website that you are going to use to find your article. This is the only place that you can find your article. There are tons of other places on the internet where you can find scientific research. You'll actually explore those in the modules this week and next week. However, that is not where the course wants you to pick your article from. And in pretty much all of the announcements and my correspondence with you, I call this article the Science Daily article to differentiate it from other articles you will be reading and using throughout your time together. So you go to ScienceDaily.com, and the article that you choose there you're going to use for your projects throughout the course, for your discussion posts throughout the course, and for a majority of your short answer assignments. Some things to know about Science Daily is it is a reporting agency. It is a news agency. While it's a very reputable one, it is still second-hand information. The information that you are reading is an editor taking real scientific research, first-hand research from a journal or from an institution, and giving you basically the Cliff Notes version. It's made to be easily read by the general public. However, you can find the original research on most of these articles. Another good thing about the Science Daily website is that you can find your APA citation right there on the page that you read your article from. I'm going to go ahead and take a moment. If you've not read my APA announcement, please do. You will lose a ton of points throughout the course if you don't go ahead and learn APA citation format from the beginning. So let's take a second and go look at the Science Daily site. So you can just go to Google, type in Science Daily. It's ScienceDaily.com right here. And if we go to the home page, you can see that there is a lot going on here. You can go right here to the top science news, and this usually changes hourly based on just really what's trending. They have a search bar that you could type in a topic that you're interested in, and then here they have categories. Your gut instinct is going to be to come over here and type in something you're interested in. However, I found that this was actually the more cumbersome method, because when you type in a topic here, let's say we just type in cells, you can see that a bunch of different websites can come up. Okay, now here's a Science Daily article, and here's some Science Daily articles down here, but at first you get these kind of advertisements. So if you go here, let's say you just choose the first one, what you may notice is that it's kind of like really brief. It's not what you want, so maybe we go back and we try to pick this one. Again, another really short synopsis that goes into this longer one here. And so this one's a pretty good one because it's published in the right time frame. but some of these other ones down here are not actually published current. So that's what can be an issue if you do the search method. So my preferred method is to actually come to the topics here. So we can come here to a topic of stem cells, and it's going to give you the major headlines for stem cells, and it will give you the most current. Every article here will be extremely current. So while we're thinking about current articles here, let's go back to the Science Daily PowerPoint here, and let's look at what is required of our Science Daily article. So topic 1-2, so in this week's modules, you will go to module 1-2, and that's where it's going to walk you through picking your Science Daily article. What you have to do is you have to visit Science Daily, choose a science-related news story, and it must be published within the past 6 months. Currency is a key issue here. Also, you'll find within topic 1-2 that you're given some other guidelines besides currency. The Science Daily article you choose has to involve the natural sciences. That means it has to be something within biology, physics, chemistry, or environmental science. So you see, does it relate to living organisms? Here's biology and medicine. It shows you that biology and medicine includes zoology, cell biology, or anatomy. Earth science has geology, meteorology, oceanography, astronomy. Physics, you have geophysics, astrophysics, atmospheric physics, astronomy. Chemistry, this has biochemistry and geochemistry. So coming back to this part of the topic 1-2 prompt will help you pick the specific topics that you're going to have success with and are the only topics that are acceptable. So here, as part of the prompt, it tells you if you cannot answer yes to at least one of the questions above. So let's go back. It just has to be in one of these fields here. That's what it means by answering yes. So you have to answer yes to one of these questions, which means it has to deal with one of these fields. However, if you get stuck, if you just can't find anything that you are interested in and also answers yes to one of those questions, reach out to me. I will help you sift through and find an article that works for you. So there you can see my email address and my Remind link. Either one of those I respond pretty quickly to. These are the best ways to get in touch with me. Emails for bigger, longer questions. Remind is usually for quick questions. This allows us to text back and forth anonymously. Then if you need to talk to me, here's my Google Voice number. But for Google Voice, for us to have a phone conversation, as you can probably hear my little one in the background, it just requires a little bit of scheduling on my part. So, one caveat that I want to mention that may help you not need to reach out to me, though I would love for you to. I love digging through Science Daily and finding things that suit people. A lot of you want to choose psychology fields. Quite a few of you are psychology majors, and unfortunately psychology is not considered a natural science. It just won't fit with the questions and the prompts and the things you're going to be asked to do. The exception to this is if the psychology article has to do with the anatomy. So if it's talking specifically about brain anatomy, or it's talking about genetics, or it's talking about how a particular medication works, then you can use it. For example, I had quite a few people last semester use psychology articles about substance abuse, but the articles were about genetic markers for substance abuse or for medications. So they had a very biological focus on the article. I do have some pro tips for you. You need to find an article that you have thoughts and opinions about. Please don't just go to Science Daily and get the first article you come across because you're trying to do it quickly. It's going to become very cumbersome if you get stuck with that article, and I've had at least probably 20 or so students have to change their article midway through the semester because they just couldn't keep writing about it. And that means you have to do work double, because what you start with this week for your article, you answer a bunch of questions, and you need to save all of your work because you use that work again in later projects. So the final project you turn in, you've been doing work on it this whole semester. So you want to start off with the best article. So you need to have a personal, you don't need to have a personal connection to the article, you just need to be interested in it. But it's a bonus if you have a personal connection to the article. As I was saying, the people that were choosing the substance abuse articles was because they were recovering addicts and they were actually pursuing psychology degrees to become substance abuse counselors. And so the writing they did was really phenomenal because they had thoughts, opinions, and they could write from a personal standpoint. However, even if you don't have a personal connection to the article, you want to have some opinions about it. One of your assignments has to do with prior assumptions, prior knowledge. Do you have any bias? If you don't care about this article one way or another, it's going to be difficult to score well on this assignment. The other reason you want to have thoughts and opinions is because you have to formulate your own questions about this article, and you use those questions from now until the end of the semester. So try to find something that, spend the extra 10 or 15 minutes to find an article that you are genuinely interested in. Some more tips. You want to find an article with a good deal of factual information. That means when you skim through, when you read it at first, you want to see numbers and details. That's because there are a couple of assignments that require you to use this information. You have to have it or you're not going to score well. So this is when we're going to switch back over, because this tip here you're going to use a lot. And the reason is, when you look at the rubrics for this course, the rubrics have an exemplary and a proficient category there at the end. Most work you do, if you address the prompt, and that's your only goal is addressing the prompt, then you're going to score in the proficient category. And that means you're going to get basically a B on the assignment, sometimes a high C. If you want to score exemplary, if you want to get A's on your assignment because you want to get an A in this course, then you're going to have to go beyond the prompt. And to go beyond the prompt, you address the prompt, you give me your opinion or you give me your answer. That's proficient. To be exemplary, not only do you give me your answer, your opinion, but you give me source information from your article or from additional resource that supports the opinion. So you might address the prompt and say, my article is about how genetic markers could help identify substance abusers. This was stated in my article when researcher Zhen Shao pointed out that 50% of patients he saw in his clinic had genetic marker X. Okay, that's just an example of how you would use information from your article to support the answer you gave that addressed the prompt, and that's how you become exemplary on the rubric. It's how you score the A on the assignment. And to be able to use your article and additional resources, you have to understand your article. You have to find what I call the Goldilocks article. So, if we come to the Science Daily home page and we go into the environmental category, because I think the environmental category here is where you will find tons of topics that will answer yes to the topic 1-2 prompt. So I'm going to choose animals. And when I choose animals, one of the first articles I saw was this. Zoonoses antimicrobial resistance shows no sign of slowing down. So this is a current article. You can see that they're going to use antimicrobials to treat diseases, and these diseases can be transmitted between animal and humans, such as Campylobacteriosis and Salmonellensis. Are becoming less effective. So once you just scan through here, you can see that it refers to 2017 data. Great, we have a lot of data. According to the report, resistance to fluoroquinolones, such as ciprofloxacin, is so high in bacteria in some countries that these antimicrobials no longer work for the treatment. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but already I'm seeing a lot of words that I'm going to have to Google. And so this is one of those articles that is pretty intensive. Okay, it is a lot of information going on that we would have to Google. And the more information in your article that you have to Google, the more difficult it's going to be to write well about it.